Imperfect Gentleman Show.
Hey, this is my best costume, and I'm getting it wrinkled.
No, you were
right
changing
now.
into
That's
something
the
else
point
tonight.
that I
That
have
can't
to-
be your best costume. This looks like what you might wear on the street.
Oh my gosh! Why the attack?
I don't think that's an attack. I think that's
I think
observation.
that's honest.
I think that's observation.
Yeah.
I've been told that my costume is incredible.
Who
Martin
told you that?
said, Martin,
Martin,
the producer.
Martin's not a good friend then, because Martin is lying to you.
Martin the producer. Martin on the board.
I think
Well,
it's
you guys-
fine. I think that you could do better because I believe in you.
Hold
you know
on.
what I mean?
Let me do better for you. Look at these tiger eyes.
Oh, I mean, it's better, but I mean, the whole thing can be
You know
better,
what?
you
I
know?
felt that was sexual harassment. You got to be careful nowadays with that stuff. That look at these tiger eyes. That's aggressive.
And honestly,
Yeah, that is
taking out the
aggressive.
sunglasses, I really thought something magical was going to happen, and then it was,
Yeah.
Ouch! And it's
Yeah.
already started. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the impeccable, impenetrable Teron Von Gossry alongside.
You know what? I was Mr. George Corey today, but you're turning me into GK Supreme. We're going to talk about these comments.
We're going to talk about that. And we are the Imperfect Gentlemen.
Yes, we are.
And each and every week, we bring you two wonderful, amazing female guests to bring the
Spectacular.
female.
But you have to add spectacular.
I don't feel like spectacular. That wasn't in our repertoire, but I guess the two young female guests we have today are spectacular. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
I'm Catherine McCafferty.
and I am also an imperfect gentleman, Leah Lamarr.
She joined
right.
Imperfect Nation.
No, she joined the.
Hashtag Imperfect Nation. Yo,
Yeah.
Twitter is lit right now with Imperfect Nation. Simon, what up?
No one's tweeting us.
Captain
Simon is the
Simon.
only one
Captain
tweeting.
Non-gender conformity here.
Here's the thing that's interesting because Leah brought up the fact that she was like, "Who's British on this show?" Because our introduction to Stephanie, and Stephanie was she was our regular co-host on the show, and then she deported herself back to Britain.
So she went back
Self-deportation.
to England before Trump was president.
Because she realized things were about to get
No.
really
No,
bad
she-
here? Or?
No, she just
She
didn't know
wanted-
Trump would become president and thought she could come back.
No, she could come back. In fact, actually, we had the conversation on the show where the conversation was that she was going to go back for just a month or two just to resettle things and then come right back because this is her dream to be in LA. And that George was going to be on this production thing for only a couple weeks and he'd be right back.
Yeah.
And I made the statement that Stephanie wouldn't be coming back and that George would be gone for at least 6 months.
And
both of them attacked me and both of them were wrong.
Well, I wasn't completely wrong. I was gone for 3 months.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, you know what? Tehran's, he gets off to saying, I told you so. That's
because
how
I
he
tell you so
thrives in
often.
life.
I mean, tell you.
I tell you so
It sounds-
often.
What?
It sounds like the famous last words, BRB. And then
Yeah.
you never see them again.
You never saw them again.
Like on AIM, when people would write BRB and then they'd never be right back.
Who hurt you?
Literally,
Like,
how
that's
long do you
actually
have?
never-
all
I'm
of her
sorry to
friends.
inform you, but Brad in the chat room was like 83 years old and drunk on whiskey. And
I'm
he did you a
90.
favor.
He did you a
ASL?
favor.
Yeah.
He did you a favor. No, AIM used to be a thing. Now, there's an entire generation of listeners listening right now who have no idea what
And
AIM
didn't,
is.
what?
didn't they
AIM?
officially end AIM? I saw an article about that.
Oh,
It's like,
did they?
it's
Or
like
did
done.
AOL die or just AIM?
No,
AIM.
AOL actually is a
AOL is a
thriving
thing.
business.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that.
They apparently make like something like $10 million a month off of dial-up still.
Cool. Do they want to pay my student loans?
No, they
I didn't
don't.
think so. I didn't think so. Who still
No
has
one
dial-up?
Actually, most of the people in
the
the
world.
Midwest that we
In Florida?
discount and we just act like they don't exist and they elect people like
they're-
President Trump into power
Yep.
and everyone else on the
And it's
coast are like,
because-
how did this happen? It's
So they
because-
voted for Trump via dial-up.
Yeah.
Via dial-up.
Yeah.
Now,
They
now
didn't,
there
but
are
they
there are more
learned via
people
dial-up.
internationally without internet, and then there are more people internationally with dial-up than there are with people who have broadband.
I don't know why, but I lost you the second you started talking.
It's his tiger eyes.
Is it the
It's his
tiger eyes? Were you
eyes.
distracted?
Your
Sunglasses
cadence was really
back
slow. I
on.
don't know. You know, I just disappeared into thin air when you
Okay,
started
so
talking.
I'm going to speed it up a little.
Yeah,
There
good.
are more people in the world without internet than there are with internet, and there are more people in the world with dial-up than there are with broadband. Eat that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know
my
what?
God.
Talking about the
You know what,
international
George?
community.
I don't know if that's actually true.
It's
And
factual.
I'll tell you why I don't know if it's true. I'll tell you why. Because they have broadband in China, and whenever something just happens in China, it just means that a vast majority of people have it.
Oh, yeah, because
So
China's
that might have
so
to do with,
big and
communism.
populated.
That might have to do with
Standardizing society.
Sure, it actually has to do with just the population of China.
Yeah.
So whenever China has something,
Yeah.
it means that
And while-
automatically
and while
1/7 of the
Jyoti's
world
not
has
That
it.
gonna hang
sounds-
out
that
over
sounds like
there,
an older
what
sister
about India?
situation.
What about India?
India
bro?
also counts. So whenever India also has a
So
vast
do they
majority
have
of broadband.
more broadband or dial-up?
They
I
have-
would like to know.
They
I
actually,
would like to know.
Being that I've been there, they
Yeah.
had broadband everywhere because there's a company that's-
Everywhere. India's a pretty big place.
Yeah.
Were you everywhere in India,
I
Tehran?
didn't go to every inch of India, but we went to a lot of places in India.
You went to Mumbai, bro.
Wait, are you guys
And
fighting over who
Pune,
has
and-
more of everything?
I went through and Delhi.
They're-
I went
And
through-
guess what? You
fighting
didn't
over
really go to
who's-
India because you didn't eat the cuisine there because you packed protein bars.
Are you guys in a fight, or is this just how you talk?
No, this is look. This is
Our guests. Back to our
fighting?
guests. We're bickering.
Listen, he bickers with me because he thinks we're married. and
Yeah, you
I've
guys
been
are like an old
trying to
married
him
couple for
years.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
Oh, thank
No.
you.
I can
giving
see
me
this working.
flashbacks.
Don't do that.
I think
I'm
it's
not
cute.
into
I think it's
it.
cute.
Hey, at least I have a better chance of getting married than you do, Leah.
That's true.
That is a
Whoa.
real thing.
That
Yeah.
was deep. Yo.
That's one of the
No,
things.
deep cuts.
Leah and I
cuts.
have talks about this often.
Honestly, I'm gonna leave this and never talk to you again after.
Why? Here's the thing. I do want to
hurt.
start off with something. Leah has.
He was like, "Who hurt you?" And I'm like, "You." Obviously,
You.
with what you
You
just
did.
said.
Leah's-
I'll go.
Leah goes by the name Leah Lamarr. And
Leah
in
Lamarr.
actuality, it's Leah Goldwoman, which I prefer so much more than Leah
Gold
Lamarr.
Woman.
Goldwoman is such a strong.
That's your last name?
No, that's the
No,
funny part. My
that's
last
not.
name is Goldman.
yeah,
Gold
Goldman,
Man.
but she changed it to Gold
Gold
Woman.
Woman. No,
Yeah,
that's
but like years
brilliant.
ago as a joke.
That's brilliant. You would be so astronomically famous if your name was Leah.
I love
Goldwoman.
Leah
Yeah,
Goldman.
maybe if I
It's
just
that.
changed my name, then I would have more success. You're right. It's all about what's in a name.
You say that, but there was this. There's several cases of this happening. I'll give you a perfect one of a rapper that you may have heard. His name is 2 Chainz. Now, for 12 years, when 2 Chainz was rapping the exact same way, but went by the name
Titty Boy.
no one gave a
Wait,
shit about
Titty
him.
Boy is way better.
God.
If I had
Titty
known
Boy.
a rapper,
Titty
Titty
Boy
Boy, I would have
is-
been there and sucked that titty.
It's better now. But when it was going
She's
on,
quick.
2
She might be
Chainz is it.
quicker than you, Tehran.
Yeah, it's around.
Leah Goldwoman.
Well,
is
not quicker to get
lightning
married,
fast.
but
Maybe.
why do you think I have no chance of getting married?
He didn't say no. He just is.
Said less of a chance.
Yeah,
Why do you
incredibly
think you have more of
confident
a
about
chance?
his
Thank you.
own
Why-
ability to get married, and he doesn't know.
Why
about
do I
you.
think I have a
You know
better
what I mean?
chance?
Yeah.
Let's discuss this.
Great.
I think I have a better chance of getting married because it's easier as a male to get married simply based on things like wealth. Like I could just get rich. Like, and that's, I didn't make the rules.
But are
know?
you rich right now?
I am not.
So then, don't you have a
Super
step
rich right
that's
now.
missing?
Here's the deal.
So I have to
I-
wait for you to get rich and then get married before I even have a chance of getting
I
married?
think that he's just saying that in society, it's harder to be a woman in all aspects.
I do
So
agree.
thank you,
I
Tehran.
believe
All
that in
aspects,
every
in every
single
aspect?
aspect except
Except-
if you want to sell out. Now, here's what I mean by that. Okay?
Yeah, explain yourself.
If you're a woman and you've decided, hey, I don't want to have any moral scruples, you can do anything you want. How do I know? I've walked down the street, Sunset Boulevard, Ventura Beach. Have you seen a lot of good-looking homeless women? No, you haven't. Because at any time, women have houses between their legs. Like you could literally just sell out and say, I'm going to become this person and I will find a way.
I don't know if I
I'll just let
agree
you
with
spin
this.
out on this.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
being dead serious.
I'm so confused. So you're saying that if I want to sell out, I can be whoever I want to be?
No. No, you can live. No, not whoever
in
you
that
wanna
case,
be.
sold.
Like,
Yo, why are you selling your
I'm
dreams,
for
bro?
sure gonna
You're
sell
selling your
out.
dreams.
No,
Right
don't
here,
make me
right
Harvey.
now.
Don't make me Harvey. Don't Harvey Weinstein me because I've tried to proposition casting directors and everything. It's never worked.
But I think the reason why
And still, you're going to get married before me?
yes,
the reason
and that
why
makes it even
no,
worse.
the reason
Damn.
why I don't agree with him. The real reason why is because you insult men before you get to know them, and that's why.
So true.
And I'm holding a grudge with you right now.
I know, you're
so
I'm
upset about
insulting my
your
Halloween
costume.
costume, which
So
by the way, this
upset.
is not a Halloween costume. This was my grandfather's traditional outfit that you
No, it
insulted.
No, it wasn't.
It's not.
You can just tell
I
by
think-
the fabric.
I have to be honest.
Absolutely
I think a
not.
lot of this is about you. Do you want to talk about
bullshit.
The
it?
best part of my
What's
costume,
this really about?
I'm a modern day Pharaoh, so I have the Kobe's and Lakers kicks.
Wow. I have to say, you understand why I insulted you, right? I'm
is that?
a full Jew, and you're wearing a pharaoh costume.
What does that have to do? Oh, I guess that's
Yeah.
That has a lot
And
to do.
we're back.
And we're back to reality.
So when it comes to the concept of marriage, I'm just saying, in the world, it is the most difficult thing to be a woman.
I have to say
The most
though,
difficult.
I could get married today if I wanted to, and I'm not.
if you sold out, and that's what I mean. If you gave up,
Oh no!
Gerard,
no,
hold up. What you mean?
no. What he's saying is, if I didn't care about love,
Exactly.
If I didn't care about
morals,
stability,
or,
if I didn't care,
Exactly.
whatever it was,
Okay.
like if I was looking for just anybody, like if I
No,
went to
time
Vegas
out,
and I was
time
like,
out.
marry me,
There's
I could
a
get
man-
married.
no, no.
100%.
His
If there-
definition of sellout is literally selling your body to attract
No,
something.
No,
it's not
no,
just
no.
That's
selling
what
your
it's
body.
coming down
No,
to.
I know you
it's
guys
not.
knew each other. You know
Yeah,
how
you're
he
putting
speaks. He
words
just
in my mouth.
says a
Not
lot
at
of
all.
stuff. You just pretend to listen. That's how you do
He
that.
just said no. He said you have a house between your legs
Yeah,
at all
because
times.
that's part of selling out. So if
What?
Leah,
Oh
if Leah, hold on, if Leah,
No one can enter my home.
no, we're talking about
Exactly.
these are
No
your
one
words.
can enter.
and that's the point, is that because you have that moral, that's why it makes it difficult. We sit there and tell our women, be pretty. Oh, but if you're too pretty, you're slutty. We give them so much definition to every little thing they do. We sit there and tell them over and over, you have to be this or you're going to be this. But if you're this, then you're not that. That's not a fair thing. But if a girl decides, hey, I'm just going to, for example, be, I don't know, a stripper, then they win. How do I know? Cardi B is winning right now.
So is
She's
that
winning.
did she sell out?
She sold out in a form.
But that has nothing to
I
do
don't
with
think so.
marriage.
She said,
No, but
she said, I don't
she
dance
actually got
now.
proposed to by Offset.
I don't dance now. I make money moves. She stopped stripping. She started making music. She sold in. She didn't sell out, my brother.
Oh wow!
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
like
and
8
yet
emoji
she
claps.
did it.
Girl has spoken.
It's not like we're sitting there going, hey, girls, let's become Cardi B. So when you say she sold in, is that the role model you want for success for your own
A brilliant
mother,
musician with a
sister,
number one.
Why
Why
or
not?
even yourself?
What,
She's a
what
great
about just
musician.
dedication and hard work and talent?
100%.
Yeah, that's-
and
she
yet,
has all that.
Is she also still naked in order to do that? Would we pay attention
Yeah.
if she was a profound rapper, or if she was
Yeah, Lauryn Hill.
I understand like what you're saying, but I also want to reject part of it because it's assuming that getting naked is a negative thing, and I think that's just like a societal thing. But
Not at all.
people won't take you that seriously. I've literally been told you cannot
Put some clothes on?
You
No.
can't be more pretty than you are funny. So think about
And
that
that's
when
what
you
I'm
get
saying.
dressed for the stage.
Yeah.
But I reject that because I'm like, I'm gonna fucking wear whatever the fuck I want, and I'm
100%.
gonna take my clothes off when I want to, and challenge people to still take me serious.
But don't you think
100%.
Michelle
Love that.
Obama?
I agree with that.
She's a well-dressed woman who doesn't use her sexuality, and we pay attention to what she says.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it's rare. Like, don't look at
It's
Cinderella
right.
and be like, that's gonna
Everyone
be my
can be
Yeah,
Cinderella.
that's
Right.
not the thing.
But I
The
do
thing
feel
is,
like people hate on Melania for being too beautiful.
and I disagree with that. I
No,
was
people
a big
want to
supporter
body
of
shame
Melania.
you no
She-
matter what.
Exactly.
it's-
When you're a woman,
No
they
matter
sit
what.
there and go, oh, Melania's too good looking, or this, or
Oh, yeah,
why is
it's
she wearing that?
impossible.
It's
What do
not
you
her
mean?
fault. She was blessed by genetics and a great plastic surgeon.
It's not her
No,
fault.
I think pre-surgery she was bad, yo.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I've never searched the internet for pre-surgery photos because I just don't care.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Maybe
the
you should
time
care more
I should care more about what she looked like before she had money.
about life.
about her first.
Yeah, Melania is life. Oh,
Because you should care more
Oh,
because you
God.
just judge someone. You just judge someone without doing the research. The same way.
We're judging all
think
women saying
everyone
saying
No,
that they're
I'm
not,
not
allowed to-
judging all women. I'm saying society puts this label on,
Yeah.
and I agree with what you're saying
Yeah.
when it's done because a woman wants to do it. But here's the problem: is that so many women do it because they think it's the only way,
Yeah,
versus
they
they
push you
actually
into
own
it.
it.
Oh,
and I've
100%.
been a big proponent of. A woman can be anything, whether it's a prostitute to the president, if she wants to do it on her own level.
Right.
And I have no problems with that. So I'm big on that. And people don't understand that because it's like, they'll be like, oh, what about the word whore, for example? I'll be like, you can never have slept with anyone and be a whore, or you could have slept with the entire world. It's just the way you own it. It's a personality trait.
Yeah.
And guys and girls
The way
can
you
equally be
define it.
whores.
Yeah.
So I'm a big gender equalist. That is exactly who I am.
Right.
all the
Well,
way
no, we're
through.
just talking about the double standard, which has existed for a really long time.
Yes.
And most people wouldn't refer to a man as a whore if he slept with a lot of women.
And they should, because if
Right.
he is, it matters how he does it. And now I actually really like the term fuckboy because it kind of brings it to that level.
Fuckboy is a great word.
It's
Yeah,
a great
it's pretty
word.
great.
You know, I mean, I might have to fight a nigga who called me that, but I mean, I'd have to fight you. But that's a term that brings you down because it says, hey, the way you're doing it. It's the way you're doing
Yeah,
it.
of
All
course.
right, is it
yeah.
selling out? Are you selling out?
When you're a fuckboy, yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because how do you become a fuckboy? A fuckboy comes through insecurities. It's like I need to prove my self-worth because I don't feel like I have any, so
And I'm
I
gonna
prey
treat
on
you
women.
like trash.
I think that
Yeah.
I think fuckboy has a large scope though, right? Because I think it also applies to Peter Pans, who might not
Peter
Oh yeah,
necessarily
who
be
like you never want to grow up,
Especially
and
in
you're just
LA.
like, you're a
and they might
fuckboy.
not be bad guys. It's just they're really not ready, and nothing that they're doing is malicious. It's just they're not thinking about other people.
I like that
Right.
term, Peter Pans.
It's immature.
Yeah, I'm not a
pretty good.
Wendy. I'm not looking for a lost boy.
Okay.
I'm not trying to save anyone.
See,
Okay,
that's when it's like,
you just set that up for me. Thank you so much.
That was a great setup. But that's the thing. There are a lot of Peter Pans in the world.
Yes, there are,
Especially in LA.
and New York,
Especially in
and
New-
everywhere. I'm
I don't
sure.
know. You know
Everywhere.
what? Where, in your opinion, where are there better men, New York or LA?
Neither. Avoid.
Here's the deal.
No.
I feel like the places that do have extreme weather, you are built to withstand a lot. So I'm from Chicago, and I'm like, I've gone through Chicago winters. I don't know that I want to be with someone who can't withstand a Chicago winter.
We
I
would
think
never work out.
It builds character. You're from New York.
I know,
feeling
and I
your
hate
warrior
it.
spirit
I hate
right
it,
now.
but you
hate
fucking
it.
survived.
Yeah.
And so, like, that is a little bit more attractive to
well,
me.
You just said something so profound, and I think it's why sometimes Hollywood relationships don't work out. Some people, what they call the struggle, make it out the struggle, so they know what it's like to struggle. Whereas on the other opposite end of the spectrum, some people were given everything and had connections and came up, and you all see these relationships. They're now in the same class, right? They're both stars, but one
right.
person had a totally different life experience, and then there's a disconnect. And I do think the whole nature versus nurture in relationship and communication, it relies heavily on nurture and, on life conditions and understanding someone.
You said so many words. I don't understand
I'm
shit
just-
you just
Again,
said.
we just both blacked out.
I'm a
100% blacked
I'm
out
sorry,
while you were
I'm a little
talking.
ahead. I'm a literature major and I'm a genius.
Oh.
But just trying to
What's
keep
your?
up.
that's what
what's
it is.
your?
It's
Yeah.
not-
Are you a
Keep up,
member of
Gold
Mensa?
Woman. No, but Tirani's, and that counts because he's my
That's
best
a
Or
friend.
do you work at the
That's
Apple
you.
Genius Bar?
I want to, though. I want to get that side job. It'd
0
be
for
awesome.
2 on the genius spectrum.
Dude, I'm just being attacked.
I don't know. You're wearing a pharaoh costume. What do you want me to do? You might as well be wearing a Nazi outfit.
Wow, I don't think it's that bad. Hey,
Dude.
you know what?
And we
Ouch,
got to
because
Nazis.
listen, let my people go. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Let him go.
You're not the only Jew here. I don't know if
You're half. You're
Listen,
half.
Yeah, but you Ashkenazis blame Sephardics for everything.
We don't. I
Let us
love Persian
live.
men.
Thanks for
You know
having
what I'm
my
saying?
back.
I would
Ron.
date you.
I know you would, and I wouldn't marry you.
but you're not rich,
I wouldn't
so-
marry you. Well, I'm not unwealthy. Here's the thing.
Yeah, if you did him, you wouldn't last.
not
I'd have him break
unwealthy.
up with you in the first week.
No.
You know
Real
what? Who
talk,
could make
bro.
me break up with someone? George. George could
Yeah.
make me break up with someone.
Yeah.
And it's because he knows how to push my buttons when it comes to women.
We would never work together.
We would never work out in a relationship.
No, it
but
would never
as
work.
Best friends.
We're best. Like
We could never
oh my
work out
God.
either
Best
because
friend-
you would drive me
What?
crazy.
As a best friend?
Yeah, but
Did you just throw me back to just regular friendly?
Yeah,
now you're
Friend zone.
you've been
Wow.
Friend zone
zone.
sound effect, Martin. That would be
Wow. No, I didn't even get. I got
Friend zone.
like. Is this even a friend zone? I don't even think we're friends anymore.
we are. Leah's one of my favorite people. Ever,
Favorite
actually.
people, but not even.
Ooh,
we're just
I
friends.
feel like that's a little rougher.
Yeah.
It was
Favorite
best
people?
friend. It was friend, and now it's just like, well, you're one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Top 12.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Wow.
Making
That's
Top
how it feels.
12 is
That's
mom,
how-
mom
Hey,
and dad 1 and 2.
You attacked George, and I
Yeah.
can't listen. Only one person here attacks George, and that's me. I attack George. George is
is a
my
dysfunctional
Listen,
abuse
George
wife.
of the jungle.
Yeah,
Right
George is
here.
my abuse wife. No one else can hit my wife. I hit my wife.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God.
That's how it
no,
works.
no. Don't hit
That's
George.
not how abuse works.
He doesn't just.
That's not.
Well, speaking of abuse, let's talk
You're
about the
brilliant.
Kevin
You are
Spacey
brilliant.
situation, right? Kevin Spacey just came out and he apparently allegedly molested
14-year-old.
14-year-old, what's the kid's name? Anthony Rapp.
Anthony
or something?
Rapp.
Yeah, he molested him. He's on a show. What show is he on, Anthony Rapp?
Well,
This Is Us or
We're
something?
talking about. We're talking about back in the day.
Yeah, but what
Broadway.
show is he on now so people
Oh.
can recognize what show
Who is
he's on?
Andy Rapp?
Anthony Rapp.
Anthony
He's an
Rapp.
actor. He's like a known
Yeah.
actor. He's on a show.
I'm not sure. I think it might be This Is Us.
And
I don't know though.
And when he was 14, Kevin Spacey allegedly, because the accusation has been made.
The accusation has been made, and Kevin Spacey has owned up to
Yeah,
it.
he's
Kevin Spacey didn't. He said, "I don't remember, and if I did, I apologize. I'm gay." And that's
Well,
kind of how
because
that
I think
went.
he realized that it was about to be a trickle effect, and a lot of people were about to come out with stories about how Kevin Spacey has maybe inappropriately disrespected their boundaries.
yeah.
That's kind of the only reason why I would. It seemed like he tried to throw a curveball where it's like, but celebrate me. Like,
Right, by saying
'Cause
just
that
like
finally
But it's a
came out.
diversion. It was a
I'm
diversion.
gay, and that's so offensive.
It's so offensive.
To just like button that and be like, oh, now let's make the conversation about me being gay, which like really we need.
The two things
We
are
need to-
not mutually
no.
exclusive.
And they shouldn't be smashed together in the same sentence because I feel like it's just opening up a whole world of people being like, yeah, see, gay people molest people, which is like fucking insane. Like,
It reminded
Sure.
me of the locker room in high school with the football team. And they were saying, oh, if somebody
Grab 'em by the pussy?
No,
Oh, no?
they're
All right.
saying like if somebody's like gay, I don't want to shower near him. Well, who says that player or gay person even wants to
yeah,
look at
I'm
you?
not attracted to
You know what I'm
every
saying? To
straight
everyone
male
who's a
guy
man.
I see.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Most of them, please don't shower near me.
Exactly. And they're making it an epidemic. They're
Okay.
making
Well, let me
because
play devil's
he
advocate.
came out with that.
Sure.
He wrote something. It was about 2 paragraphs, and the last sentence is where he came out as a proud gay man. And it might as well have just been one sentence that said,
Yes.
"Hey, maybe I molested someone, but guys, wait a second, I'm gay.
Exactly.
Celebrate
Let's talk
me.
about
Yeah,
this.
let's talk about that."
I agree
finally
with the
came
gold
out,
woman
and
for
it's like,
once.
Thank you so much.
that's not what the
perfectly said.
conversation should be
Well,
about.
let me
Reverse
It
one now.
can be
Tehran,
about
devil's
later.
advocate.
Let me give you some devil's advocate point because
Sure.
what you just said was you seemed so offended by what Kevin Spacey did, which is your right. But my concept is, why do people feel like they are the PC police? They get to decide what is all of a sudden offensive, especially if it's not your specific demographic. So I don't know about your personal sexuality, but I don't know if you're a gay man. I don't think you are. And if you're not a gay man, it's kind of like,
No, 100%. It's not my battle to fight, but I can also at the same time read a statement and have a reaction to it. And that was my reaction.
And you're allowed to be an ally.
I am an ally, and I'm not gonna blast on social media and make it my thing. You know, I'm not gonna like take it up as my battle to fight. However, as a white, mostly straight woman, I could.
as they all are.
Isn't that the point? Like, you're supposed to be able to use your power to fight other people, like, or not fight other people's fights, but definitely umbrella your power and like distribute that, right?
Yeah, I
so
mean-
like if I have more of a reach as whatever I am, then I can say, hey, I'm on your side.
And I know Tehran's
100%.
playing devil's advocate, but he's going to agree with what I'm about to say. So it's a slippery slope, right? Many philosophers have had the statement that if you're silent about injustice, right, you're doing equal harm as a person perpetrating the injustice.
Right,
Yes.
100%.
So if we see something outside our demographic that's wrong or doing harm onto someone and we stay silent about it, then we're not doing
You're
our job.
just
We
as
need to
bad.
speak up
Here's-
about
I
injustice,
think-
not just because I think we're all brothers and sisters, people. We all came from this, pharaohs and everybody, we all came from the same.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like
You know what I'm
if
saying?
you see, in Charlottesville, when there were Nazis attacking people, right? If you're a Christian American, I think you can also agree and stand for Jews and say, oh, maybe Nazis aren't great, and I want to support my friends that are Jewish. And I think that you're allowed to obviously stand against injustice,
allowed
no
to
matter
be
whether or not you're on that
they were
team.
also against the blacks. I just want to point that out. Like,
yeah.
I think it was more the blacks and then the Jews.
Oh my God, don't make it that.
Are
Well,
we-
They did kind
Do
of
we
beat up a
need to
couple
rank
blacks.
these?
They did beat up a couple
I went
blacks.
to school at the University of Virginia, and
Yes, you
so
did.
I have tons of personal accounts of. I wouldn't say that people were coming out as Nazis or anything like that, but I was targeted a lot as a Jew there.
Well, what are some incidents that happened?
Well, did we want to make this radio show about me being Jewish? Because I could do that,
No,
but I
you
also
already
could go
did
back
that,
to talking
but
about
I just
dating
wanna hear
about the
in New York.
incident.
But it's also like, it's if I was at the university with you and someone said something, I'm not Jewish, but
you'd
I
stand
can
up.
say, oh, hey, asshole. Because that asshole might listen to me more because I am not Jewish. And that's wrong, but it's not wrong for me to say something. Right?
Right. I'm with you, Catherine.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
And thanks for standing with me.
and you know what? I wish more people did that. Is when they saw something wrong, they stood up for it. Unfortunately, that's not what happens. What happens is people typically just don't say anything, which is why, and they only say something if it affects them, which is actually why when you are in the process of being raped, you're supposed to yell fire because more people will actually react to that than the words rape.
But wouldn't they run
sad.
away if there was a fire?
That's sad.
They actually come
Wait,
to
that
help.
is so confusing.
Yeah.
But who's they? Like, are they coming with buckets of water?
It's
Well,
it's
that would work.
Wait,
I
I've
feel like if
actually
someone
never
just,
heard
like,
this.
you've never heard that? That's
No.
actually an entire psychological argument.
Another.
Oh my God,
I
I've
haven't
never-
heard that
Yeah.
either.
As two women, the fact that we've never heard that is.
Yeah, I mean, you
it's
could look it up.
Another thing. It's just
Wait, but-
well, it's a selfish.
There's a meme.
It's a selfish.
Oh, that makes it
Well,
true,
it's
right?
a
What it is,
psychological-
it's the innate selfish nature of people, right? So if they feel that they could be in harm too, fire, because that could affect more than just some other person, then they're going to react. But when they hear rape, oh, it's just one person. Like, I'm not going to go help that person. That's
Someone
literally
else
how
will help.
selfish-
what if
And
you-
that's actually, it actually comes out.
Yeah,
when-
you always
in
think
crimes,
someone
when
else.
someone is,
Light bulbs.
people will go, oh, I thought someone else was going to call the cops. I didn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
I guess I've been fortunate that I've never
But
had
they
to
will
witness
call
that.
911
And-
if they think they're in harm's way.
And here's another important thing about people outside of a minority group speaking up. And I have an example when I was in Texas and I was at a table full of jiu-jitsu players, and they're all white except for me and one of the black jiu-jitsu players. They were ganging up, calling him the N-word. And he was laughing with it, but he was uncomfortable. And I was brave enough. They all would have kicked my ass. But I said, this is BS. And I got up and I left the table. I said, you guys need to stop this. And the guy felt so outnumbered that he was afraid to speak up, you know? And that's what happens a lot of the time. The oppressed sometimes, and whether it's a societal thing or whether it's an insecurity, they have a fear or an inability to speak up. And that's why it's
Well,
people
yeah, it's
from
like
the
the
outside's
whole like Me Too
responsibility.
thing, and people
Right.
attacking victims and being like, "Why didn't you say something? Name names." And it's like, "Oh, please don't tell me how to be a victim."
You know who else feels that way? Black people. I just want to let you know.
Also, I have to say, though, I think there are lots of different ways in which you can be afraid or you can be assaulted. And a situation like you were just speaking about versus rape are two totally different situations.
And I never put them.
No, I know. I'm just saying that there are so many different ways to react in different situations because
So like, don't yell fire in his
Right,
situation.
I was gonna
is
say.
that what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly
okay,
what it
cool,
is.
cool.
Don't be like
cool.
the boy who cried wolf. In that.
Well, actually,
No,
I feel
I'm
like
just-
a lot
I'm
of
just
people
saying-
cry wolf. Also in the
Really?
news is Kim
You
Kardashian.
think a lot of people-
Yeah, the Kim Kardashian dressed up as Aaliyah for Halloween, and people are saying cultural appropriation and very upset at it and offended by it. And my argument is this is why people don't take black people or black issues seriously is because of BS like this. Like, there are real issues that we need to deal with, and then there's this, and more people are putting
Well, I
and
think-
focusing attention on this.
I think you're right to have that opinion, and more often than not, it's easier to pick smaller fights. And it's like, you guys, there's so many bigger fights to fight. But the whole cultural appropriation and Halloween thing, that's always going to be something that people want to jump on board and like talk about, especially if it's a celebrity. People are totally going to talk about that more.
Sure.
But no, I'm on your side saying like,
But my thing is that
Guys.
sensationalism has become
Yeah.
the new sensation. So when people see that there's something that's sensational or getting a lot of attention, all of a sudden everyone knows everything and they chime in. So I'm asking what? So gun control is done? We're done with gun control.
Right, no.
Just a week before that, everyone was an expert on presidential elections, and now they're experts on cultural
It's just because there's
appropriation.
always
100%.
something new.
Yeah.
It's either there's an environmental disaster or there's gunfire, or
does feel
there's always a
overwhelming.
new. It feels recently like there's every week there's something like
And
a
I think
huge
the
news story.
I think the news though plays into that, where it's like, okay, now we're talking about this thing, and now we're having this thing, and then we're doing this thing, and it's the way that our culture works now. Just with people get bored easily, I guess, or we're not the news isn't giving us enough credit to be like, okay, but let's maybe still talk about Russia. Let's maybe still talk about how Jared Kushner has security clearance. You know, like
Or
bring
how Puerto
up
Rico is
those-
still in complete devastation.
Yeah, and it's you just move on to the next thing.
And it's interesting because have we followed up on what happened in Houston? Has the news told us how Houston is doing since the storm?
Well,
No.
no, because now Kim K dressed up like Aaliyah.
Right.
But
I think-
it's all representative of the fact that we have a reality TV star as a president. So it feels like all the news is about. It feels like reality TV. In
But
a
it's
way.
been like this for a long time.
I know.
A lot of people look, to me, President Trump is the exact president that America deserves because he is a reflection of the United States in every way.
Just
And
say
I
he's
really
he's
believe
not
that.
All the
only
worst
he's not only a
parts of it.
reality
All
TV
the parts
star. He's a successful entrepreneur. I just want to throw
successful,
that out
and
there.
I just feel like
Allegedly.
when you talk about Kim Kardashian, I couldn't care less about Kim Kardashian. We're talking about someone who became famous because she rode the coattails off of someone because she literally used to clean her closet, and Paris Hilton, and then she got famous off a sex tape.
Did she sell out? Did she sell out?
Actually, here's my defense of Kim Kardashian, and I will defend her all the way simply because a lot of people have sex tapes. None of them became famous, or a lot of them did not. A lot of people hung out with Paris Hilton. They didn't become famous.
Well, yeah,
either.
she's beautiful.
And I get it's not just beauty. They put in work no matter how they manipulated
what?
it.
What
how
is
they
she- what
worded
do you think is her
You know
work?
what? I think her openness or her willingness to do whatever it is to get there is something that I personally wouldn't
Yeah, but
have.
what's her
I
work?
wouldn't have
What's
a
her
camera.
craft?
My family wouldn't have a camera in their household 24/7 to expose every little
But you know that's
dirty
all
nature.
fake drama.
But even if it is, my family wouldn't be willing to fake that drama no matter what the payoff was, right? So the fact that they are willing to do this and
sell out.
people are watching, it's not them. We are watching. I say this all the time.
We're giving
Everybody
them the
looked at
power.
November 9th like election day. No, we vote every day. It's with our dollar. Every single time we give $1 to whoever it is, we are saying we agree with you. And we give a lot of dollars to Kim Kardashian and her family. So we as
Wait,
a
what was
society
November
are
9th? Did I
saying
miss that?
Election day.
November 8th.
Whatever.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
one day off.
All right, close
Oh,
enough.
you're
wait.
gonna attack him now for one
No,
day
that
off?
was just when Donald Trump
That's my
was
best friend, not
elected,
your
and it
best
was the
friend.
saddest day.
It
So I
but to
remember
me,
it.
it wasn't the saddest day. It was American politics. It was something that a lot of different people in the United States have felt before, and now it felt like, oh, guess what? People on the coast are feeling what we felt when President Bush was elected,
Right, and how
or
we
Reagan
were
was elected,
excited
or
when
the
President
drug
Obama
war.
was elected and then reelected, and I'm sure half of the other people in the country were miserable.
Sure, and that's why, because people will say, oh, President Trump's not our president. That's not how democracy works. And this is actually getting into the LA Equinox story, is that Equinox, actually, there was a pastor member, a black member, who was a supporter of Trump, and they banned him because of what he's saying is his support for President Trump. And they banned him from their club.
Okay, let me get this right.
I thought you were
He
talking about the
literally
autumnal equinox, and so
No.
I was like, I didn't know that the weather
no,
had changed.
Equinox, this is
the
LA.
gym.
I'm still talking about
The
the gym.
gym.
I'm from New York. What do you want? Yeah, I'm thinking
Is
about
there
weather
more to
changing.
the story?
Talking about
Did
the
he
gym.
simply come out as a Trump supporter and got banned, or did
Was
he
he
say
talking
something
about it in Equinox? Was he like
Extreme.
with a
Yes.
microphone being like,
Actually, kind of. So he would give
Okay,
interviews on the
well,
phone and stuff.
Well,
However,
get on my gym?
obstructing the peace?
Yeah,
it's-
I'm trying to work
he
out.
didn't get banned for obstructing peace. And I've been to that Equinox. People talk on their phone quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying, and this is once again, there's two sides to every story, and then there's a truth.
I feel like this is
He's
going to be
saying
though
it's
my
from-
Kim Kardashian because
from
I
this.
don't want any media to be covering this. But keep going.
See, and I do.
I
And it's
know.
because I think it's wrong. I think that this is how democracy works, that we have opinions, and just if you don't believe in freedom of speech for the speech that you disdain, you do not actually believe in freedom of
Right.
speech.
No, you're right. And it's on the flip side, it's just as bad as Trump attacking the fake news and calling everything like fake news or trying to
Sure.
discredit reporters and just spouting lies, but calling what they're doing lies, or like banning the press from certain events. It is the same on the flip side now, saying at this gym, this person is banned.
You seem so
But
exasperated right
it's
now.
like on
Yo,
such a small
real.
scale, and I just have so
that's
much
how it
hate
works,
in my
and this is
body.
why-
But you're
But
correct. You are correct.
There is
George-
such thing as liberal extremism. And I think people forget that because they view the liberal construct as justice for the people, setting people free. But at the same time, you could kind of backlash, and as
No,
Toronto
you
was
can be
saying,
extreme on
and
any
take the
level.
same, not the same views, but the same shots, the same mechanisms that the extremists on the right are doing.